Ombi langu Baba yangu, bila wewe sitoweza. Uwepo wako Bwana uwe nami. Ombi langu Baba yangu, bila wewe sitoweza. Uwepo wako Bwana uwe nami. Uwepo wako Bwana uwe nami. Ombi langu Baba yangu, bila wewe sitoweza. Uwepo wako Bwana uwe nami. 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 Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you'll be watching this from. My name is Evangelist Mwai Alice, and I'm really happy for yet another chance that God has given unto me to come and speak to you today. I know it's been a long time since I did this, but I really thank God because He has given me a chance. Are you okay? Are you good? Are you protected by our God? For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for keeping it here. And for the new ones, kama wewe ni mgeni hapa, karibu sana, feel much welcome. And when you arrive here, please make a decision of hitting that notification bell, subscribe, hit the notification bell, so that each and every video that I upload, you will be able to see it. You'll be notified that I have uploaded a new video. So things have not been so easy on my side. That is why I had taken a break. But I really thank God that each and every time, His word tells me that even when I am weak, I am strong. We do not confess defeat. As a Christian, you learn how to confess positivity even when things are not working out. You speak life to situations in your life, even when things don't seem like life in your life. You get me? Yeah, and so we are continuing with our waiting journey, our waiting series, and we are on the wait, episode 3. I really thank God. Have you watched episode 1 and episode 2? If you haven't, please go back and watch episode 1 and 2 so that you can understand where we are coming from. And so I'm very sure that you have at least grasped something from the episode 1 and 2. And I'm here to do episode 3, and today we are looking at a story that we all know, very popular, and we are looking at the story of Joseph. And this is a long story. I don't think it will fit in one episode. I'm very sure I'll come here with another episode because it's a long story. For those who have read it, it's a long story about Joseph. And we know that Jacob had 2 wives. He had Leah and he had Rachel. And remember, he had been given Leah instead of Rachel. Jacob loved Rachel, But because according to their customs, the elder daughter could not be skipped over for the younger daughter to be married off. So if someone was to marry, they should have started with the elder one, and that is what they did. Although Jacob did not know, he knew after things had been done, and that is another story. That is a whole other story. And so Jacob loved Rachel very much, and Rachel had only two sons, and that is Joseph and Benjamin. And when he gave birth to Benjamin, that is when she passed on. So from Rachel, Jacob had two sons. This we are looking at the story of Joseph, who was Jacob's son, Jacob and Rachel's son. All right. And so we are. Let's dive into it, right into the word, and we are going to read from Genesis chapter 37. Genesis chapter 37, and I am going to read. Please be very much attentive because this is a very long story, but we are going to go through it as God will help us. I will read. Jacob lived in the land where his father had stayed, the land of Canaan. This is the account of Jacob's family line. Joseph, a young man of 17, was tending the flocks with his brothers, the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And he brought their father a bad report about them. Now Bilhah and Zilpah were the slaves or the maidservants of Rachel and Leah. And in those days, I think it was allowed that you can give out your slave or I think your slave to your husband to get children, and by so doing they also became Jacob's wives. All right. So now we are being told that Joseph at this particular time, he was 17 years, and he was going out with his elder brothers to tend the sheep, his father's sheep. And we have seen that there are things that these brothers were doing that were not good. And so Joseph reported to his father these bad things that his brothers were doing. In verse 3, now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons because he had been born to him in his old age. So, to those who don't know the story of Leah and Rachel, God had closed Rachel's womb and he opened Leah's womb, just like the story we looked at of Penina and Hannah. So Rachel did not have children immediately she got married, but her sister Leah, who was not also the favorite of their husband, had children, hers biologically and also through the female slaves that they had. And so when God opened Rachel's womb, Jacob's years had gone. He was already old. And so we are being told that he loved Joseph because he had been gotten at his old age. And when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him. So because the father loved him, they hated him. They hated Joseph. And verse 5, Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. And this is where our story starts, that Joseph one day had a dream. Remember, we've been told that he is his father's favorite. And so here we are being told that he had a dream. And this is where Joseph's waiting journey starts. So when whatever he saw in the dream, he told his brothers. Instead of supporting him, they hated him even the more. The Bible says that. And we are being told, he said to them, listen to this dream I had. We were bidding sheaves of corn out in the field when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood up right while your sheaves gathered round mine and bowed down. All right? This is a dream. And Joseph has decided to tell his brothers. And I'm thinking, because Joseph was the younger, I tend to think maybe the elder brothers could have supported him or even prayed with him to figure out this dream, or even nurtured him, but this did not happen. They hated him even the more. The Bible tells us that. His brothers said to him, do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us? And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said. Imagine Joseph, good-hearted, as young as he was, and he was so innocent, telling the brothers the dream, and they hated him even the more. And so verse 9, then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers yet another time. Listen, he said, I had another dream, and this time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me. 11 stars, the sun and the moon. And so it's like these people have the revelation of these dreams, because even in the first one, when Joseph tells them, they are asking him, do you intend to rule us? And so when he told his father as well as his brothers, his father rebuked him and said, what is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you? His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. So no one can tell what Jacob was thinking, but he kept the matter in mind. Because remember, this is a prophecy that Joseph would come to rule, and he would rule over his family. He would become great in his family. But they do not take that positively. If we are being told that even the father rebuked him. However, he kept the matter in his mind, all right? But the brothers hated him because of that. And so Joseph sold by his brothers. Out of this hatred, they are going to plot and sell him. And remember, this is all waiting period for Joseph, because God has shown him that he would become great in his family. But before the greatness, what does he go through? Now his brothers had gone to graze their father's flocks near Shechem, and Israel had said to Joseph, as you know, your brothers are grazing the flocks near Shechem. Come, I am going to send you to them. And remember, they have a lot of hatred in their hearts, in their mind, towards Joseph. Very well, he replied. So he said to him, go and see if all is well with your brothers and with the flocks, and bring word back to me. Then he sent him off from one valley of Hebron. When Joseph arrived at Shechem, a man found him wandering around in the fields and asked him, what are you looking for? He replied, I'm looking for my brothers. Can you tell me where they are grazing their flocks? They have moved on from here, the man answered. I heard them say, let's go to Dothan, a place far away from Shechem, where Joseph had been directed by his father, because the brothers were to graze in Shechem, but they decided to go further to Dothan. And so Joseph went after his brothers, found them near Dothan, but they saw him in the distance, and before he reached them, they plotted to kill him. Imagine, Joseph is going to check on them, to check whether everything is okay with them, but they plot to kill him for nothing. He has done nothing. It's only for the two dreams that they can tell this person has a great destiny. This person will become greater than any one of us. And so sometimes we are hated in our journey of waiting. We are hated not because we have done anything wrong, but because the people around us can tell that our destinies are great. Our destinies are going to be greater than theirs. Maybe we are going to be greater than them, and they cannot stomach that. So let's continue. When Reuben heard this, they plotted to kill him. In verse 19, here comes that dreamer. They said to each other, "Come now, let's kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns and say that a ferocious animal devoured him. Then we will see what comes of his dreams." You have shared your vision with someone, thinking that they are your friends, your confidants, but they are not. Because remember, our hearts are like a forest. You can never tell what is happening in someone's mind or someone's heart unless God reveals to you. Unless the Holy Spirit of the living God reveals to you what is happening in someone's mind, you cannot be able to fathom. You cannot be able to tell. And so if you're in that situation, a situation whereby you revealed something, you revealed a vision that you had to your friend, thinking that they would support you, they would help you, but they end up going against you, plotting against you, doing things against you, just know it's because they have realized your destiny is great. But do not lose hope. Keep up. Call upon the name of the Lord and hold on. Ask God to hold your hand, because the journey of waiting is not easy. This is Joseph's brothers, same blood, but they are devising on how to eliminate him. How much of a friend? All right, so when Reuben heard this, Reuben was the eldest son of Jacob. When Reuben heard this, he tried to rescue him from their hands. "Let's not take his life," he said. "Don't shed any blood. Throw him into this cistern here in the wilderness." A cistern it's like a borehole kind of, but it's like a well that is dug. Mostly those times they were dug maybe for the animals to get water in the fields, all right? So this is Reuben. He's trying to save his brother. But look at the solution that he gives. Well, it's better because someone could have gotten the boy and maybe saved him. And according to Reuben's mind, he thought maybe they would throw him there and then he would come later and rescue him. However, this did not happen. Throw him into this cistern here in the wilderness, but don't lay a hand on him. Reuben said, says to rescue him from them and take him back to his father. At least he had good thoughts upon him. So when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped him of his robe, the ornate robe he was wearing, and they took him and threw him into the cistern. The cistern was empty, there was no water in it. Oh, fortunately, the cistern did not have any water in it. And so I'm just thinking, the robe that Joseph had, we had been told that he was the favorite of Jacob, and Jacob had made this robe, ornate robe, from the word ornaments. We are told that that coat had many colors, maybe because of maybe that is why it is being called ornate robe, because it had ornaments, many colors. Maybe the ornaments were of different colors. And so they have stripped him of the robe and they have put him in the cistern. Let's see what happens after this. As they sat down to eat their meal, imagine, you even have appetite after doing, they even had appetite after doing all that they did. They didn't care about Joseph at all. As they sat down to eat their meal, they looked up and saw a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead. Their camels were loaded with spices, balm, and myrrh, and they were on their way to take them down to Egypt. Judah said to his brothers, "What will we gain if we kill our brother, and cover up his blood? Come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay our hands on him. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood." His brothers agreed. So after all, they know that this is their own blood, flesh and blood, but still they still want to do him evil. And there is something else that is coming out of here. Can you see when God is planning your life, things do not go the way we think. When you surrender to God and God is planning your life, things will not go the way you want. Things will not move smoothly the way you think. Just because God has told you that there is a present, a reward ahead of you, it doesn't mean that you will go on a straight line and see the reward ahead of you and pick it happily and just enjoy it. No. There has to be a cost for you to pay so that when you get that reward, one, you will be grateful to God, and two, you will be able to take care of that reward and use it wisely the way God wants you to. And unless He takes you through a path whereby He teaches you, and in God's school, you go through pain. You go through pain as He teaches you how to handle what is ahead of you. Because if He doesn't do that, whatever He has kept for you, whatever is in store for you, might destroy you. And that is not God's will upon your life. So in this case, Joseph has been sold. They have decided to put him in a cistern, and fortunately it doesn't have water. As they sit down to eat the food that Joseph brought them, they see traders and they decide to sell Joseph to these traders. But God is doing this because He can see that many, many years ahead, He wants to place Joseph in a specific place, because ahead of them there was a calamity that was coming. And only Joseph, placed in a particular place, will save them. And this could not have happened because remember, Jacob loved Joseph so much. So he couldn't have just given Joseph out very easily. And so he has been sold to the Ishmaelite traders. And remember, these Ishmaelite traders are going towards Egypt. And you know the Israelites have a history with Egypt. And this was started by Joseph going to Egypt, being sold as a slave into Egypt. So if this did not happen, we shall see that Joseph's dreams would not have come to reality. If this did not happen, Joseph's greatness would not be achieved. So sometimes we go through pain for us to achieve our dreams, for us to achieve the greatness that God has put in us. All right? And so we are on verse, is it 28? So when the Midianite merchants came by, his brothers pulled Joseph up out of the cistern and sold him for 20 shekels of silver to the Ishmaelites who took him to Egypt. When Reuben returned to the cistern and saw that Joseph was not there, he tore his clothes. He went back to his brothers and said, "The boy isn't there. Where can I turn now?" Then they got Joseph's robe, slaughtered a goat, and dipped the robe in the blood. They took the ornate robe back to their father and said, "We found this. Examine it to see whether it is your son's robe." How evil. Remember, Jacob was in his old age. How evil can people be that they don't even care about their own father, about how he would take this news, knowing very well that he loved Joseph very much. He recognized it and said, "It is my son's robe. Some ferocious animal has devoured him. Joseph has surely been torn to pieces." Then Jacob tore his clothes, put on sackcloth, and mourned for his son many days. He mourned for Joseph. And as he was doing all this, the brothers know that Joseph is not dead. The brothers know that they sold Joseph, but they could not tell their father. They watched him mourn for nothing. So some destinies will even cost our beloveds pain because they are so great that they might cost even our beloved brothers, mothers, fathers some pain without knowing. All right? Hey, a story. In my family, we have gone through a lot of pain, but we didn't know why. We've been rejected. We've been raised in a family whereby um, local brews were the orders of the day. You are driven out of your home. You are beaten up for nothing. Maybe I can't even tell why we were being this was being done on us. But our journey was very painful, very, very painful. But when I look back, now I see that God was training us. We were in a training field. At this particular time, I didn't know God. I knew God, but I didn't have a personal relationship with God. But He was making me to one day have that personal relationship with Him. And I did. In His right time, He did capture my heart. He did capture my attention. And He trained me. That is why I'm here. That is why I'm strong. That is when even when I face hard difficulties, I know that He is still with me. He trains you in such a way that you undergo pain such that even when you encounter other difficulties in your life, you are able to endure. You are able to know and surrender to Him. You know that He has got you. He's got your back. And you know that His plans in your life are good. And so no matter what comes in your life, you are able to push through because you know He is right there with you. Remember when David was killing Goliath? He killed Goliath with the faith that God will do it because He had done it before. He had killed a bear. Is it a bear or a deer? He had also killed a lion. All right? And this gave him the confidence in his God. If he did it with a lion, who is this? A mere human being. I will do it. And so God does it so that when you remember what He did to you when you were going through that pain, you are able to endure. You are able to go through whatever encounter that you come across confidently that God will win this battle for you also because He won before. All right? So in your journey, do not forget where God has brought you from. Always remember the battles that He has won for you, the pain that you have gone through. Do not forget how He has brought you out of difficult moments. Have a testimony. And that is why we are told, aliye na mwana ana ushuhuda. If you have Christ in you, you have a testimony enough to save someone else's life. All right? And so the word continues to say that his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. No, he said, I will continue to mourn until I join my son in the grave. So his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites sold Joseph in Egypt to Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard. Mhm. So Joseph has been taken to his destiny. Not really to his destiny, but to the field where God wants to train him on how to become great and how to deal with greatness and how to live with greatness. But to Joseph at that particular time, he never knew. Just like any one of us, when God puts us through some things, when God takes us somewhere, we do not understand sometimes. But if you pay attention, God is always getting you into places, connecting you with some people, no matter how they are. God may connect you with even the street children for a reason. God may connect you, God may make you go somewhere that you feel you do not deserve to be because He is training you. So in your waiting journey, what are you going through? In your waiting journey, have you encountered hatred? Have you encountered people going against you each and every time? Have you encountered people plotting against you? Maybe you knew, you came to know about it, and you wonder why. It's because your destiny is greater. It's because your destiny is big, so big that these people cannot be able to even think about it. And so the only thing they can do is eliminate you so that you will not reach your destiny. But guess what? God has a plan for you. And Jeremiah 29:11 tells me that for God has good plans for me. I paraphrase. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says that God has good plans upon our lives. Plans to prosper us. So hold on to that word, that God has a good plan for you. So no matter what happens, no matter what other people plan against you, God has a good plan for you. So do not lose hope. Keep on keeping on and ask God to hold your hand, because it's not easy to wait upon God. But with God on our side, we're gonna make it. So that's it for today, our episode 3, as we continue looking at the story of Joseph. Please stay with me. In our next episode, we shall see he has gone to Egypt. He has been sold into Egypt. What happens to Joseph in there? And what can we learn from Joseph as he waited for these dreams to come to reality? The dreams that he had when he was 17 years. What happens when he reaches Egypt? All right? So may God bless you so much. Thank you so much for keeping it here. If you haven't subscribed, please make that decision of subscribing and hit that notification bell. Each and every time I put up a video, you'll be the first one to be notified. So thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, shalom, shalom.